Alright, time to do some door locks. Got the goods right here. Got 2 door locks and a trunk lock. So starting with the trunk lock here, let's see what we got. Three bolts, and I think this should just fall right out. So I'm assuming the 3 bolts comes on out, and I think the cylinder pops on out like that. Let's figure it out. This uses a 7/16 bolt. Out. I think this piece right here, either you push it through, turn it, maybe I need the key. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay, so after taking the 3 bolts out, I think you have the screw right here to remove first. Not too sure if there's like a particular order. That doesn't come out. Alright, just need to do some Googling. There we go. Cool. So that piece pulled out there. I think you can push this rod through, and then this wants to wiggle its way out. So if I push on it, so I guess I need to just twist it a certain way, and it should come out maybe. Let's see. Probably no. Nope, just comes straight out. Okay, no need for the key. Okay, there's the unit there, just like that. And then here's the trunk piece. That doesn't look good. I don't know if you can see that. It looks a bit bent there. Seems here. The clip that was in here, I guess when you push it in, it slips itself just like that. The focus is right, which is interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this in there. Okay, so you can see it through the hole here. Not a problem. So before I put the new one in, while I have everything here exposed, I'm gonna go ahead and give that a quick little scuff and spray down. Just gave the underside of a trunk just a once over with just that black rust reformer. Just clean up a bit. Alright, so it looks like here we got 2 different length rods. I wonder why that is. Not just sure if I need to cut this one, but I'm just gonna install it anyways. So So before installing, don't forget to have the little rubber gasket. Come on. There we go. Don't forget to have the rubber gasket ready. I'll make sure that's ready. You place it in. Not to mention focus. Keeping an eye on the 4 lugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And where they are on there. So this thing is so long. The screw faces towards the car. That's why they made it so long. I want to go back in. So if I get that in. So basically I refitted it in, got it mostly the way through, and then I used the screw to push it all the way in. So it's not going nowhere. All you gotta do is just make sure you get your 3 bolts in, but make sure it aligns okay with that. So try not to mess that up. I think it wants to line up just right, so if I won't truth if I screw up or not. Yeah, that works. Okay, one more time. Nice. There you go. As far as the door locks go, they seem pretty much the same as any GM style lock. So you got the little clip right at the front there, and then of course you got that orange clip piece. You just gotta take out, and so the kit seems quite accurate. Let me set you here. Come on. What is it? There you go. So this is pretty much the same. You got your gasket, you got your 4 clips. I wonder what the third one was for. Oh, this one was for the trunk. Oh well. And of course you got your little clip here for the locks. Ignore this. But yeah, that's what you'll be using. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and pop this off, and then the whole cylinder should come come straight off. Like that. And then once it comes off, I'll get this clip off, replace it with a new one. Alright, so got the clip off by using some of these. This thing's coming clutch. It's like a pipe wrench or something like that. Or pipe freaking plier thing. So now you should be able to just push that out, or rotate it and push it out. So let's see if it will work. There we go, just like that. Wind is picking up. Yeah, that's it. Check the orientation. It is like orientated any way I want to, so I can check the key. Okay, so basically I went in there, picked at the little tab that was bent down until it comes up, and you can basically finally now push the tab upwards and then get it out. So it's as easy as it looks. It should just come right out. There we go, just like that. You basically line it up, line comes right out. Inspect the little arm there, looks good, no complaints. I'm gonna go ahead and put the new one on there. Actually, there was really no point, you really just wanted this arm because we got a new cylinder. So to not confuse the old with the new here. See the difference there? Obviously, one's cleaner than the other. So, using the new keys. Alright, so you get your new cylinder piece. Line up like so.
I don't think she did.
Grab the new clip. Line it up. Clip it through. And then once you, just like the other one, push that little tab in to retain it in. There we go. That was the best that I could do, probably. It's in there. Probably enough. Ain't gonna walk out. I'm just gonna insert it back in. Yeah, don't forget to slip on the new gasket there. Just like that. And use the new clip that comes with it. Okay, there you go. You slip it in just the way you took it out. And I made sure to check with the key that actually locks and unlocks. So all you gotta do is just slip in the retaining clip and then push it in. This is probably gonna be the hardest part. Well, I'm gonna get that done on this side. I'm gonna do the same on the other. Now it's time to go clean up the mats, throw them back in the car. I did one last clean already, and so we should be good. So I'm gonna wait on putting the downpipe in. Went ahead and ordered a Camaro style manifold and see if that might give me some clearance for the steering arm. But in the meantime, I'm gonna wrap up the interior here. Just rolled out the carpet. Generally speaking, it looks okay. It does fit a lot. That's okay. I'm gonna put it in temporarily. And for the most part, besides these little bits here, which I could ignore if it does get covered up by a seat, this ain't too bad. Because it's not gonna go anywhere. Plus, once you get the rocker guards, once those are in, you bolt down the seat. Honestly, this carpet's really not gonna go anywhere. Maybe the top here might be it, but I'm gonna go ahead and find the holes for the backside. I'm gonna do the backside first. Find where the seat mounts in. Think about using like a soldering iron or something like that. I've seen some tricks on the internet on how to go about that, but I'm going to try to melt some holes in it and then figure out what kind of hardware, new hardware, if I need new hardware for the bench seats. So here I'm gonna try to just maybe fold this, keep this out of the way for the front end. I'm gonna go ahead and find the holes because it looks like I'm gonna have to melt through both for the rear holes and then obviously just the front two for these. I got an old soldering gun from my dad's. Hopefully this should at least get it started. So I'm just gonna find it. Maybe use like a really thin screwdriver to mark the hole. I might probably do that because actually it's a great idea because the holes do come from the bottom of the car, I think. Okay, some of them do, some don't. So one of the easiest things I could probably start off with is the seat belt. Where's it? Seat belt, hold the big one right there. And luckily it does come on through from the other side if I can get the right screwdriver. It's not. Oh, never mind, that ain't gonna work. The frame rail is right there, so I guess I'm just gonna have to mark it, push it down, maybe give it a mark, find out where it's at, see if it indents in there. There it is. Yeah, see where it indents. Start the hole and then probably melt it open. So let me give that a go. Yep, that's it. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and see if I can just melt a larger hole. Try not to burn anything. So this heats up pretty quick. Yep, I can sort of see the smoke there. So I'm debating whether I want to do it from the top or the bottom here. If I do it from the top, I'll do it from the bottom because I know where it's at. Melt on through. There it is. I'm gonna go down just to see if I could use a wider part to. Very good, very good. Now I know where it's at. Probably could have used some like a bigger hole, but we'll see. See if I can still stretch it out like a bolt or something. So here, sort of playing around with it, sort of just while heating the gun, I sort of just worked it open. So now you could almost easily have a reasonably sized hole here, enough for a bolt to go in for sure. Just need to make sure I'm staying center there. Yeah, a little bit off. I need to melt more on this side. No, it don't look too pretty on the other side either. Yeah. I have to start chipping away at that. But no one's gonna see it. So I'm gonna keep working at it and see if I can make it work. Just like that, you get your 3 holes right there. I'm gonna repeat on the other side, and then I'll do the front one after I figure out if it's far forward enough. Alright, so got a few bolts in. Test fitting this front pad was a lot harder than I thought. Especially trying to get the pedal, acceleration pedal. So here's what we got here. So I had to use a soldering iron and melt it away. I may have melted too much right here. So when this sits on there, you got a not so pretty sight. Oh, exposed right there. I think I'll just get a patch. Shoving it back in there. I think it's yeah. Just get it between here and the jute. Maybe. Something like that. There you go. And then hoping it pops in, but these are looking way deep in there. And I already know that the carpet alignment is not even right. Because I could already tell, like, this is too far back or something of that sort. That's okay. It's gonna work for me. Okay, I finally got the pedal in. Using the force of freaking Thor's hammer to, god dang, get those 2 pins pushed into the bottom of that pedal. And didn't think it was possible, but I finally got it. Also got the hole cut, not too clean for the high beams. But we should be good. All that's left should be the easy part. Just gotta melt the holes for the front bench. And the carpet's in. Okay, so chances are, you know, trying to beat the clock here, see if we can get this to carbon coffee tomorrow, but being too optimistic now. But all the stuff I need to get done are in. It's just, will I get it done? Because I need to still take that off, take this off, take off the spark plug guard, reroute the spark plugs to come up on top, put in the new manifold, which I have come in Camaro style. So comes in back, different style, but we'll see if that works. We'll see if it works. I'll make it work. But in the meantime, it's like 2 p.m. right now. I'm gonna see if I can get the interior, especially in the back, started. The carpet is mostly in. It's not really pressed down, but the holes are there for all the seats. Worst case scenario, I might just rock the front bench. But I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get the rear bench in there and all the little side pieces. And maybe the back there. Oh, come on, focus. Maybe the back stuff there. See how long that'll take. Because, you know, you also got the trim stuff. That might take some time, so we'll see. So here are the side filler pieces that go beside the rear bench. They sort of stick up on the side there. So you got, luckily I had both ends for both sides of them. Pretty in good shape. A little chip here and there, that'll probably bother me. I'm just gonna go ahead, I sanded this down, or at least scuffed it up. Of course, gonna give it the old good Rust-Oleum treatment, you know, spray them right there. I'm just gonna touch up the front here with just the little chips. And then get that, while that's waiting, I will start looking into the trim pieces that go inside there, such as like the armrests, side panels that are inside the house and whatnot. So let's look at that. One thing I forgot to mention was seat belts. So these are for the rear. These are obviously the male end. Thought I was able to take out the bolts, so these would go on the far sides, or the wider side bolts. I could not take apart the other ends because for some reason I just do not like the bolt types they use here. Where are they? These freaking bastards. I don't know, see if you can see that. Zoom, zoom. These freaking things. They're like smooth, almost concave on the head, and the amount of height on these are really low. So even with like a crescent wrench and this weird angle where I'm like hitting the ground and trying to pull it up, and yeah, it's not able to do it. But at least on the sides, I was able to get these out and put in different hardware. So I'm gonna put those right back in. I made sure to get some grade 8 bolts. And I made sure to lubricate them so they don't, you know, try to start rusting up and then seizing. Just put some lithium grease on there and then thread it in there almost like anti-seize. Oh, just make this. See, this one with a much thicker head, which should be good. This is the right size. Nope. I believe you use a 3/4 socket. Not snug, at least really in there. Okay. So I'm going to open up this rear package tray, see how it's going to fit inside the car. There you go, looks like that. And it's got a bit of the sleeve, the skin on which the seat rests up against, I would imagine. It's got little tabs here, so I'm going to figure out what slips in somewhere. Let's try to do this without ruining this thing, but chances are, you know, knowing my luck, I'm going to ruin it. So let's see, just everyone slip in there without any issues. Of course not. Okay. Let's see what I got. Get that off here. So unsure if the tab needs to go up or down, but I went ahead and did it up. So I'm assuming the corner piece will go through here. And if you could see it, let me turn on the light. There are mounting holes, little screw holes right there for the rear trim. You can just see them peeking up. I'm assuming I'm supposed to keep those exposed, so I will do just that. So I could get the inner trim window pieces in. And then I made sure to fold this out. So when it comes to get the seat in, my assumption is it'll flap like that. So not too bad. Okay, so before I get the rear seat, I know that they mount into the little tab here. So there's two tabs right there, and then one right here. And I'll show you where the on the seat where they mount up to. Okay, so here's the rear back seat. As you can tell, there's a little tab here. Hopefully you can see that. There's a little tab here in which I guess you run a bolt through that into that I guess that welded nut piece I showed earlier. And of course, one's missing, so it looks like I'm gonna have to make a piece like this real quick. Luckily I got some spare steel. So I have my box of scraps that I got when I was cutting pieces for the truck. I'm gonna probably bust out the angle grinder again and probably use this piece. Basically fold it and then cut like a U. Okay, so using my spare piece of steel, when folded, the piece is about 2 inches total from end to where it bends and folds over like a U, and then leave like a 1/4 inch from the center, which I'll do a little bolt hole. Just like that, with a janky tab, I'm just gonna smooth it out with the Dremel or some sandpaper, and then get it around the seat. Just like that. Go ahead and put it on. We're good. There we go. Come on. There we go. Should do the trick. Alright, so the closest thing I could get to screwing in those tabs is one of these. Again, I'm just hella lucky. I found these 6mm screws. Well, it says 20 millimeters long, I think. Again, I guess you can find these kits at. Buy them online, just like some random assortment. And this is what I'm using right here. And these will screw into them pretty loosely, but it seems like they'll hold. So I'm going to use 2 of these and some really big washers to retain those seats. Alright, so here I got 2 corner pieces that go up to the back window. I wonder if I have like a part number. Come on. There you go. Not too sure. I bought it from another guy, so I don't know where exactly he bought this from. Oh, Acme Auto, it seems. Okay. I'm learning new things every day. So check it out. So I'm learning how the headliner is getting put in, well, at least from this end. I was wondering why there was like little bits of staples sticking out at the end there. I was like, well, they're not stapling into the metal. Actually, because of this, they staple it right into like some kind of fiber board, and then this board is glued in. It's glued in to the body, to the steel. And there's a little bit of rust there, but you can see it's stapled to it. And the fiber's glued to the roof. Pretty cool. Me, I'm gonna do something different, and I could try to, I don't know how, I don't really have the tools for it, but I don't have a way to staple maybe a new piece to it. Or I could just try to glue everything. I might just do that, because there is some solid gluable real estate right here that I could probably get away with using straight up adhesive to, so I might just do that. So for these corner panels, I'm guessing this right. Assuming we're supposed to fold the layers over each other. Even probably the end piece, maybe. Because seeing how it fit up before, I did hold it up against it and try to fit it up against there. It sort of does overlap at the end of where the where my current headliner ends. So I might go ahead and just cut the corners. Right where I'll have any corners here, any overlap. Cut little pizza slices out of the corners and then glue these all in. So we should be good. There we go. Just like that. Of course, get you in, or actually get the sides in, and then that comes in like that. It even captures that. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray this somewhere that's not the car. Get this done. Okay, so I glued and taped little panels here in the corners. Good. So I got all these interior molding bits. Clean up first, get some steel wool on them, shine them up a bit, and then try to figure out how they get in the car. Okay, so now without the package tray in, you sort of put the piece up against it. Let me get light here. I'm trying to match the angles. Somewhat like this. So you see that? I guess it doesn't really get the ends there. I'm just seeing what I see here at the bottom. Alright, so now using this inner molding, this one I had to repaint myself. Previous guy wanted to paint it blue. I believe so, right, with the 5 holes right at the end. You have the clips that slide. I guess you just screw that right in first. Figure in this order of how to do this. Okay, so just once I have the piece mold screwed in, all 5 screws, once it's all in there, I think the package tray can scooch up just a wee bit more. I think so. Pull it up, maybe give it one last push, maybe cover it all up. Maybe. There we go, just like that. See if you can see it. There we go. So just keep on pushing. It should slide on up. Not catch on anything. There we go. Just like that. Just damn focus. There you go. And slide all the way in. Tuck these sides of this in. There we go. So these done. So this shouldn't stick out too much. Maybe just a little bit. But it does have the padding when the chair to get in there. This is looking good. Alright, so my understanding is I'm going to go ahead and put this right there, and it's going to overlap with the current headliner. And this piece, short 2-hole piece with a bit of an arch to it, it's going to go right in there, and on the back there's a hook that I think goes in that, let's see if you can see it, square hole right in the corner, right there. goes in there, so I think it hooks on there to hold, and then you get your 2 slots. You have 1 and then 2 to put your screws in. And so I think that's what's going to hold this piece up. Let's take it out. Got it in, found the screw holes up top. Those were a little hard to find, but I was able to at least get the top molding to hold the corner panels in. So once we get the front, take the front mirror and the moldings off, it's just 1, and then second one, the 2 in the middle there, that's holding the mirror in. I'll put that in, put the corner moldings in, and hopefully get the arching molding in at the same time. No luck with getting this downpipe in, so I might go ahead and just put it on just to get the first startup whenever I do get to that point. In the meantime, I'm going to finish wrapping up getting the interior, especially the rear side, back in. So, see here, I got the corner panels and the inner window moldings up and in with the package tray right in there. This one actually looks quite nice. It's just like that. Got the screws in, managed to find the holes. I don't know if you can see much in this lighting. Here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and find out how the, I guess the main arch moldings go in. But I guess before we do that, I gotta figure out these rear corner, I guess, door cards. I know somewhere like right here you'll have your window crank. And for my assumption here, I know that you hook on the top, so based on how these are designed, they have this hook to them. I guess you hook them up on the top. I'm not too sure. There's your hole mark for the window crank. I'm not too sure how to actually, if I need to fasten it on there, or if I gotta put it on the door window. The window crank will keep it on there. That's my assumption. Or if I put the armrest in, it'll fasten it in as well. That'd be my guess. I do not know. But I'll just keep at it. Strip the old armrests, both sides, from the previous stuff that he had on. Here's the new stuff. I believe, there we go. Use that curve there that goes across the top. And there's another piece, another smaller piece below it. I'm unsure it's for, I don't quite know. It looks similar, but I don't fully understand what this one's for. We'll figure it out. Alright, so we got foam lined on the shelf there. I'm just going to glue that on. The screw here, but I'm going to go ahead and drill. See if I can drill a hole right in here so we'll hold this in. Okay. Window down, so we can. There we go. It's not the prettiest, but let this come through more or less. Cool. Quit breaking these bolts loose, but there it is. Not too bad. So here's the other side as well. So I think if I am correct, it sticks out oh so this far. Not 100% sure. But when it does stick out and line up like this lines up. So hard to assume, but I really don't know how it's supposed to, but it does match the curvature of the window here, so I think that's how it's gonna go. There you go. Alright. So we got the rear door here. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do, because these are sticking out here. I know the previous guy tried to pull this back. I wonder if you've tried to do it just to get the bench seat out. But that, I might be alright. So I'm going to bend this back. These little tabs here, I think I'm going to push these back in, because I don't think these should be sticking out as much as they should be. I hope so. Or are these sticking out this way? See, this thing I don't know. Were they bent around, or were they bent back? That other side looks like they're bent back. I don't know which way they were bent from, so I'm just going to bend them back all the way. Because I have no idea which way they were bent from. I just hope it's this way. So we got the screw holes right there, in which correspond to the armrests. They do have 2 holes up in the front that I will pierce through. So hopefully, poking through. Is this the right way of doing it? I don't know. There we go, just like that. So using Mr. G's fastener kit here, I think what I'm looking for here is number 7, which is the quarter panel screws. So I think that's what these are, and there's 4 of them, so that does make sense. Okay, so inside the car we have your 2 little mounting points. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a light on here. 2 mounting points, and then 1 steel tab sticks up here. So, using the correct armrest here. Obviously I poked in the 2 holes already, and there's a, as you can see it right here, it's like a raised point right here, which I think the tab just sort of slips behind. Or in front, or behind, I don't know, but it seems like a raised bump that lines up with it. So what I'll do is I'll probably slip the tab, or slip that on there, just like that. Press this up against there and hope that the screws line up, which, you know, what are the chances of that happening, you know, just... Luckily for me, I could sort of like pull this out and take a look as I fasten it in. Sort of push them in there, just get them started. That way when you do look around, you can see where it lines up and where it doesn't. So hopefully you guys are seeing that. There we go. Just like that. Boom, boom. Let's get that in. So unlike this side, the other side here had some difficulties because when I lined up the door panel, it didn't quite line up with the original holes. So I made little panel pieces that align the holes just right. I basically screwed them on using the same hole size. Put this on and then basically use the screws to sort of mark where they're coming at, and so hopefully this works. Okay, so got the rear quarter panels, the little armrest back there, so I guess what needs to go next is either the rear seat and somehow figure out how these filler pieces come in, because I have these holes on the side. Oh, come on, focus. They have these holes on the sides, but I have no idea how they actually fastened to anything. If they fasten to the wall, which I'm trying to figure out, or it's to the seat itself, which I doubt as well. So I really don't know. Because somewhere here there are. You gotta go find it. There's a hole somewhere. Unless there's some kind of mounting bracket that was here at some point in some time of this car, but I don't see it. Alright, so I got the kick panels in. Unfortunately, I had to pop this back out to get this run in there. So, the seat in, just gotta put in the screws and washers. Now with the seat inside, we could probably screw them in with the latches. There's the original, and then there was the one I sort of made up. Just gotta screw them in. Make sure that washer doesn't fall between. Alright, so we got the back seat in. The very back was very easy. Just hook it on and then put on the little two screws. This part was a little harder. It wasn't that bad, except that the bench doesn't quite sit right. Like this one hooked into the part where it needed to. The other side, I cannot for the life of me push it back far enough. It's hitting something at the end to get it in, but for the most part it's in. Interior's in. It's not perfect, but it does look the part. And so just brought in the front bench. I'm going to figure out the mounting holes for it, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the backing parts separately when I'm about ready to go. So stay tuned. So checking out the inside once again. Making quite a bit of progress here. We're getting there. Front bench. Sort of had to recut up the carpet because since I screwed up with the front side, the overlap was a bit much. Honestly, this carpet should have been like right here or something like that, so there wouldn't be any overlap for the bolt holes. But I did anyway. So what we ended up doing is having two and trying to get a bolt through that. Apparently, it was making it really difficult for the bolts to even catch. Not to mention, I'm not even sure I'm using the right bolts. But we went ahead, got under there for the second layer of carpet, cut out like a rectangular square around that area, and so did it on both ends, cleaned up all the melted bits that I was using with the soldering iron, and luckily we were able to get the bolts to catch on the floor. But I will get a new set of actual matching bolts. That should be good. Just a quick go over with the interior here. It's, if anything, functional, because honestly it's not the prettiest, but it works. Like, yeah, working Glovebox, new Glovebox inner piece. The back seat is looking, I'm gonna say great, just functional. looks good. I am very happy with how the package tray and the rear corner headliner pieces, they really make the car look way better despite having the old crusty headliner. I'm just going to keep that in there. All that's left now is to get the door cards in, armrests, put in the new, or these will be, probably reuse the old short ones. These will get new ones. Let's see what else. Oh yes, probably put on that last bit of trim. Oh my god, focus. Put that last bit of trim through the trunk. At that point, all the cosmetic bits will be complete. It's door card time. So opening the new set. Okay. So we got both sides. Looks pretty fresh. Not damaged. Let's get to getting that in the car. Alright, let's get this opened very carefully. Whoa. Of course, I have a very unsharp knife. Yes, stiff my seats. Let's see what we got here. Both wrapped together, and then one of them's wrapped separately. Very new. Very good. Almost all of them come with a bag of these. I'm still trying to figure out what they're for. All I could think of is using them to help pump the holes and find where the screw holes would be, but I honestly have no idea. See here, you guys see, I'm assuming is what the armrests go here. Wing window, and this is probably the door handle and the regular window. So door window, wing window, door handle. I'm getting an additional one here, but I'm 100% on that. So before I was using that spray adhesive for the corner headliner piece, and it sort of held, but I needed to have it on there and try to dry it off. And then I ended up taping it with the duct tape, and can't go wrong with some duct tape. And on that corner panel, almost armrests in the rear seats, I just exclusively taped it, and honestly that didn't really hold that great, so I'm going to do both. Spray some glue down the middle, and then hold it down with the tape. And so if the tape ever goes and gives up, at least the glue will be there to at least keep it from trying to come back up. So I'm going to do both. Got my pre-cut pieces of tape, and the little covers to protect the couch. I don't think I'll have an issue. Just going to spray just a bit on the edge there, hold it down, tape it, and move on. Start with one side. See how far this goes to there. Like so. So basically just get it right on the edge there. Get a little on the other side. So okay, got both the doors done. I'm just gonna let them sit and dry for maybe about an hour, see if they still stick, see if they do what they need to be doing. I'm gonna go ahead and take apart all the rest of that little hardwares and bits on the door. All it really is just the door handle, so I'm gonna do that first. As far as all that's left on the door, it's really just the door handle. And when I do end up taking it off, I gotta make sure not to close the door with me inside the car. Otherwise, I may have to start pulling some wires here to activate the door. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This was just a simple screw here. Is it the right screw? I don't know. But on the right side, I do have the right hardware kit, so I'll probably figure it out. Go. Just like that. Just gonna remember it sets itself pretty much horizontal. You can have it a little down, but seems like the way to go. Alright, so I got the door card ready. I did a test run on the driver's side and it did work out pretty good. I'm not sure if you can see that. Not all the accessories are on there, but I did get it on. So basically you got your, I haven't mentioned it before, you got your, see, your driver, or not your driver, your door opener, window roller, and then you have your focus. And then you have your little wing window opener as well. Then you got your two holes right here, that's for your armrest. That's what these two screws, big screws, are sticking out for. And then I guess through all the tape and all that, you're gonna, for me, I'm gonna have 1, 2, probably won't see, it's too dark, 3, and then 4 little screws that hold the bottom together. If I did recommend one, you could probably drill another hole for like a 5th right here, because this part must tend to stick out. But all you got to do, simply with the hook side, hook it in on this side, hook it in, make sure it's on the inside of there. You'll floss this through, a little opening for your door lock. There you'll see the little hole. And honestly, it really just falls in place. You just slip this in, push it down, make sure it's flush as far as you can against the window. And everything else will basically fall in place. And I'll show you what I do. I think I've showed you before, especially with vinyl. You can start hammering a bit lightly around the edges and sort of beat the hole to come through on these. I'll show you what I do. Basically, the little hook parts, you sort of aim for this, and then you push the rest over, and then you line up the door lock. Probably best to grab it from the sides. Just line it up, just hook it over. Line up the door lock itself. Push that through. Push everything flush up against there. Obviously this will come out. And then you could, once everything's solid, what I do is I push the door against it, and then you could feel the little bumps of where the door opener, the window, and the wing window. So what I like to do is get a hammer or something pretty tough and just start hold it like this. If you're not reasonable, not too soft, but and there's just enough force, the hole just want to cup on through, and then you could always cut off the extra residue. Wow, that came out really quick. There goes the other one. There you go. Push right through, and then when I pull it out again, I get some scissors, just cut that off. So I went ahead and made sure the armrest holes close enough to the 2 holes that were for the armrest. Also note that these actually like come at an angle, so it's really like that. Yeah, the screws want to come in sort of like a downward angle. You'll see when you have the armrest, because these have that not really angle to them. Yeah, there you go. You see it coming downward. course, I'm not having this blue stuff on here. Of course not. You think I'm crazy? Go there. No fit. No, not true. Make a line. Three screws there. I'm trying to find holes. Should be pretty close. Not going to be holes because the still pretty. The area. Right. Right. Oh, that never. Don't those. Take what you like. Until we go forward. Oh, you know, wrong way. Yep, that's it. Coming out the wrong angle. So those are staying there. And the not as fun part is finding the 4 holes. Now, it's not that hard because the holes are like right at the edge, so you could feel for it. But when it comes to getting it through here and getting it to actually connect, that's a whole different story. But you can do it. So got my screws for the kit. They look like these, by the way. Let's see if you can have this focus. Focus. There you go. They look like these. Pretty short. They have the little washer around it. So when you do screw them in, they're not twisting the fabric around it. Like I said, it's not too bad. You just gotta find the hole, guess where it's at. And of course, you got everyone's got their techniques of doing this. And this whole material, you can go ahead and just screw right through it. It's like a thin sheet metal with some fiberboard or some kind of wax board or something like that. See if I can get one close enough. Come on. Come on. Line it up. Estimate the distance here. So I'm looking at like my thumb. And of course, once it's already in there, you can sort of angle it if you're like really close. See, it already starts when it digs. Yep, it digs right in there. Hopefully be lucky and get in there in one go. So of course I duct taped the end, so you got a feel for it popping its ugly head out the other end. There you go. See, so it's in, but it's just screwing in the end there. So you could guide the tip right into the hole. Let's see. Can you see anything? Probably not. But how about that? There you go. Just popping its ugly head there. You find the hole. Okay, so from there, luckily on this outside end, you could tell, you could easily see them a little low. So see if I could adjust the angle at it, maybe. If not, no big deal. Back it out. Adjust the approach. Or adjust the whole screw. It's no shame. Just a slide. Oop. Took some carpet with it. You should have cut that off, because that's not pretty. That's the most carpet I've seen that came off with it. That's never happened to me. Find your hole, adjust accordingly, and try it again. I swear this is like the same exact location. Oh, look at that. Wow, it even caught onto it. Nice. See, that never happens. That's too lucky. I struggled enough on the driver's side, so I'll get a break. Nice. So that's basically it. You just do the other 4 and you got your door card in. Not sure if it's the right way. Probably some proper restoration guys will probably have a lot to say about how I do it, but this is just so I could get me a nice driver. So I don't need it perfect. Simply, this is the easiest part, literally just removing the armrest pads. Just these 2 screws right back here, and they're just Phillip heads. Of course, they're at a strange angle there. And of course, the previous guy just used a whole mismatch of screws. This one and the other guy, this other one, the other pad. Freaking, no, these actually look right. No, this one looks probably too long. Oh yeah, definitely too long. Yeah, that's not good. At least this one looks right. And just like that, pad comes on out. These probably go to the trash. That's right. Got me the good stuff, the actual stuff. Made in the USA. Very nice. Just gotta pop these boys, put them right on those. Should be good as long as this camera will freaking focus. From Mr. G's Enterprises. Screws I'll probably be needing looks like number 12 armrest pad screws. So, these guys right here. 4 of them. Look good. Sounds about right. Let's get to it. Alright, so these are looking pretty sweet. I'm not a fan of how they do bulge on the side here. Just a little bit. Screwing them more will just tighten this side down so it's sort of flexing that way. So I just left it as is, just make sure it was nice and snug. But these are looking pretty sweet. No, let's put them in the car. Ooh, also, if you didn't know, before you put them on, you probably want to put the door handle on, because you would, if you look at the back here, there's a cutout in the corner to know which side this is. So being the passenger side, and there would be a door handle right here. This would have a little cutout just to have a little spacing, just like that. So it would be a little stealthy in the way there. And there we go. Got that on there. She's sturdy now, and this is what I was talking about. The door handle just stealthily hides behind there. You just give her a pull and you open the door. Just gotta pop on those and then do the same thing on the other side. Alrighty. So I went ahead and popped the rear seat back up so I could fix the inner panel here, because before it was sort of sticking out weird, and when you close the doors, yeah, the panel was sticking out a little bit more. So I figured that you'd have to pull this over and into the slot where the window goes. So I did that. It holds, just barely clips on in there, and I was sort of scared that it would come on out, but I think once you get your window roller handle on, this should not go anywhere. Shouldn't. You know what's in? Check this out. So it sits in just fine, except I need some filler there, and probably the same on the other side. So if I could get some like extra black cloth or something just to stuff down in there, because obviously this was not made with the correct frame or anything, or with the correct springs or whatnot. So again, I just used foam to make it work, and it's definitely gonna work. I sat on it, this works. So previously, before, getting the front bench in was a little difficult, but went in, reduced some of the carpet from beneath, and really cut those holes out, so it makes it easier to get them started. But the hardware that previous guy put in was definitely just a mix match of all sorts of different bolts and threads, and I guess he forced them to work. So I went ahead, eBay, someone makes, or actually several people make, you can see that. It's a kit, or just a set of half-inch bolts here. So these look like these will do the job. So let's get those in. Oh my god, please focus. Right, lots to catch up on for the most part. Majority of the interior fixed up. Finally got that window fixed up. At least it rolls as long as I'm careful with it. But interior is looking pretty good. Functional at least. I'm gonna wait to put in the backs. Probably do the seat belts first. And I'll eventually get to those gauges, because I think today I might actually get started on getting the engine put together here, and I'm gonna figure out eventually how to adjust the freaking shifter there in the tree. The linkages are doing something. Not even the linkages, the shift column, I guess. It's doing some funny stuff going on. Needs tightened up, but we'll eventually get to it. Yeah, that piece up there. Oh yeah, gotta change the brakes. Change the oil already. Still need to put coolant in it. Eventually, we're getting there.